Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. So I can't decide which one I want, the Apple Watch SE or the Apple Watch 6. So I got them both here. I've been using them both for a little bit of time and I just want to tell you which one I'm choosing and why. Both these watches are 44 millimeters. Both of them are just the Wi-Fi GPS version. The Apple Watch SE is the space gray color. The Series 6 is the blue color. And that's one difference right off the bat, is that the Series 6 offers a few different color options. You can get this blue color, which I think is gorgeous. I really love this blue. You can also get red, but I'm not a flashy guy, so the space gray version is just fine with me. I've always loved this color, so whether it's blue, space gray, that's not a big difference to me. One thing I've noticed from wearing both of these is that the design feels the exact same. And that's because in a lot of ways, they are. The displays are the exact same. They have the same bezel size. They have the same brightness. They both get up to 1000 nits. They both are OLED displays. The sides, the cutout, the digital crown, everything looks the exact same. When you flip it over, this is where you start to see the difference. On the Series 6, you have the Oximeter LEDs that flash into your skin, and then you also have the EKG sensor, and you don't have either of those on the SE. The SE obviously has the heart rate sensor, but in terms of feel, these feel the exact same on the wrist. Some of you may have watched my Apple Watch SE 1 month review, and I'll put a link at the top here if you want to check that out, but you'll know that I bought the Solo Loop with the SE, and that was a big mistake. The Solo Loop did a number on my wrist. It left a really bad rash, itchy, irritation, so I didn't make that mistake, and I got the regular band on the Series 6. I like this band a lot more. When it comes to speed, the Series 6 has the new S6 processor, whereas the SE has the S5 from the Series 5. And Apple makes the claim that the new processor is 20% faster than the one that's in the SE. But in day-to-day use, you can't really tell a difference unless you put them side to side. And when you put them side to side, yes, obviously the Series 6 is a little bit faster in opening most things and getting around, but we're talking half a second, maybe a second tops in performance increase. And that's just when I had them side by side testing them. But in my day-to-day usage of them, I really don't notice a difference. While the displays are the same, the Series 6 does get the always on option. This feature to me was always kind of a gimmick more than it was a feature. Because yes, I understand that there's a few instances where you might want to just glance down at your wrist. Maybe you're sitting at your desk and you want to see the time quick and you don't want to twist your wrist. But I think for the most part, most people are okay with twisting their wrist to see the time. And these have the same exact display. So the only thing that's holding the SE from not having the always on display is that Apple won't release a software update to allow it. However, there are some real features that you do get with the Series 6 over the SE. You get the EKG sensor that was in the Series 5. You get the brand new Oximeter. You get the brand new ultra wide band chip. And then you also get the always on altimeter. For me personally, the only one of those features that was very interesting to me was the EKG sensor. I think that's great to know more about your heart health, especially as you start to get older. The oximeter is cool, especially now in this pandemic era. I can understand why people want that as a feature, but I bought an oximeter a while ago on Amazon for roughly $10. So if I ever feel short of breath, I can always just use that. But that seems to be very few and far between. Actually, I haven't used it in years, so do I feel like I need that as a feature on a watch on me at all times? Not really. The always-on altimeter, I think it's great for those that are into hiking or that do a lot of walking outside. It'll help calculate your calories a little bit more accurately. But I live in Minnesota. There isn't a ton of incline, decline. It's a pretty flat state. So again, not something that I would probably need. And the ultra wideband chip that's in this, Apple says, in the future it'll support digital car keys and some other features, which again are cool, but not necessarily something that I need. And when it boils down to it, and you can kind of see where this review is headed, there are a lot of features on the Series 6 that some people will definitely find interesting and definitely need and want. But I think for a lot of people, the SE will be more than fine. Apple doesn't come right out and say it, but you can definitely see the targeting that they're doing with each of these watches. One of these has more advanced health data about your cardiovascular system and your heart and is a little bit more expensive, obviously targeting a little bit older generation. And I don't mean that to be rude, but people in their 40s, 50s, or 60s that want to monitor their health a little bit more closely and have probably a little bit more disposable income to upgrade to the Series 6. The other watch strips a lot of that advanced health data, still allows the heart rate, but everything else is kind of gone, and then it's offered at a lower price. obviously targeting the teenagers, the 20-year-olds, the 30-year-olds who don't really care about monitoring their oximeter or their heart all that closely, but they still want an Apple Watch. They still want a great display, a fast processor, and that heart rate data. And obviously, there's always exceptions to the rules. There's plenty of people in their 30s and their 20s or even their teens that need to monitor their blood oxygen or their heart more closely because of certain issues. But I think you can see where I'm going with my recommendation here. I personally am saving my money and I'm sticking with the SE. And that's because I wanted an Apple Watch for the notifications on my wrist, be able to respond to texts, emails, and phone calls on my wrist, for the activity tracking, the exercise tracking, the heart rate tracking. And the SE does this all perfectly. So I think for a lot of people, especially younger people that don't need that advanced health tracking data, I think I would recommend the SE more than the Series 6. And that recommendation is for the most people, but there's definitely going to be people out there that want that EKG. They need to track their heart. They have maybe an irregular heartbeat and they need to keep track of that, or they have, some sort of cardiovascular issue that they need to keep track of their blood oxygen levels. So there's definitely people out there that I would definitely recommend the Series 6 to. And if you have the Series 5 and you're wondering if you should upgrade to the Series 6, I would say you can probably skip it this year. I don't think there's enough new features or a really big design upgrade or way better battery life. Everything's pretty much the same in that sense. But listen, whether you have the Series 5, the SE, or the Series 6, all three of these are going to be fantastic watches that you're going to love. If you have something older than that, then yes, maybe you would like to upgrade into a Series 5, Series 6, or an SE. I think that's probably a good upgrade at this time, but these three watches are still fantastic right now. All right, so I'm going to wrap this up, but I appreciate everyone watching. If you have any questions or comments about the watches, leave them down below. I'll get to them. Thanks again for watching, everyone. Stay happy, healthy, and safe. I'll see you in the next video.